Hi everyone, it's Tara here with Create Life Paper Words, and I have another Instagram inspired with myself and Christy with Sweet Girl Designs. Today we are tackling this gorgeous scrapbook page by Janine, and you can find her on Instagram. So what I was really drawn to with this was the beautiful flowers that really caught my attention, and so I decided to use my Cameo. And this isn't the first time that I've used the drawing pencil or pens with my Cameo, but it's definitely not something I use all the time. So it did take me a little bit to figure out how to like do the design and then cut it out properly after. So as you can see, I did have one that didn't cut quite how it was supposed to, but the other ones all did pretty good. I was pretty happy with how well everything worked out, and I definitely am going to be trying stuff like this again. So a lot of my files I ended up getting from Paper Issues, and they're all free cut files on there, so that's something else you can check out if you're looking for some flower ones. And then I decided I wanted to bring a little bit of color into this. So my goal for 2018 is that I'm going to be doing a lot of black and white. So I'm really wanting to keep it in more of a neutral color base. So I'm going to be doing a lot of black and white photos. And also I'm going to be using more of a black and white base in my cards and that kind of stuff. So that's sort of the plan for right now, but I did want to bring a bit of color into this just because in the inspiration piece she's got that gorgeous wood grain and then the little pops of the green and the yellow. So I chose to go with my watercolors, and I end up using my teal and gold that I have. So they're not even in that, they're just little extras that I had picked up because I really liked the colors. What I didn't quite realize, and I did this in 2 separate days, is that the ink from the Cameo pen isn't really, I guess you wouldn't, it bled. Yeah, it bled. That's a good way to say it. So it wasn't the true colors that I thought it was going to be. As you can see there, it sort of made like a bluey gray color with the gorgeous turquoise one, and then the gold. Same idea. It wasn't as gold as if I just use it normally. So the colors didn't quite turn out exactly as I wanted, but I am still super happy with how it turned out. And I didn't watercolor everything. I just watercolored about half of them just because I wanted to have little bits peeking out. And then on some of these I just did like the little leaves part. So again, I wanted to keep it really white and black neutral as the base, and then just add in little tiny pops of color. So I'm also diluting the watercolor a little bit on some of them, knowing that I'm going to put them up a little bit, or I'm going to hide them a bit, just so that I've also got a difference in the color variants as well. So I do let these dry, and then I go to starting to put everything together. So something else I wanted to do this year is I am someone who struggles with my handwriting. I don't have bad handwriting or printing when I take my time, but unfortunately I rarely take my time when it comes to writing stuff. So I'm going to attempt again more on the computer and typing stuff out. What I did do though is I turned my handwriting into a digital font so that I am going to be using my handwriting on my typed stuff, if that makes any sense. So when I do type stuff up, it will be in my printing. So I thought that would be fun to play with this year and see how I like that. As you can see, I've laid sort of everything out how I want it. It's just in that top left corner there. And one of the 4x6s, I did it a little about us, where we are, how old we are, that kind of stuff, and that is my writing on that. So it was super easy. I will try and link below if I can find the website I used again, but it was really easy for anyone who's interested in it. You do need a scanner Though I think it did say you could use your phone. I can't remember now. I used my scanner though for mine. So I'm just doing a little bit more fussy cutting. This is the one that didn't print out, or sorry, it didn't cut out properly. And so I just fussy cut around it, and then I'm gonna start laying, and I want it to have a messy look. Like I don't want to take too much time thinking about where I'm gonna put stuff, just because I do want it to be sort of messy and just sort of sprinkled on there. And yeah, I really love how this looks. I have done this before in last summer, I believe. I had done one that was sort of similar to this, a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, where I had a lot of little bits of fussy cutting and flowers and that kind of stuff. For that, I didn't actually use my Cameo. I ended up fussy cutting them all because they were so little, but I really love how these kinds of pages turn out. And actually in that little egg carton thing that those are my leftovers. I took so much time fussing cutting everything out that I ended up saving them, thinking I might use them on something, and I was able to use it on this. So the little smaller ones are all stamps that I had stamped in StazOn. And I don't think I decided to watercolor any of those ones. I decided to leave them as black and white. So as I'm sort of getting this together, you can see that you can see the little bits of colors popping out through the bottom. So that's the look I wanted. I had a couple extra bigger ones left over, and I decided I was going to try and use those up as well on this. So just sort of figuring out where to put them. I end up loving how this 2018 looks. I do it at the top and the bottom, these little extras, and I absolutely love how that one looks. This 2018 is actually a digital file from Kelly Stamps. I believe you can still get it. So it's all the numbers, and what I did is on the computer I did 2 3x4s beside each other to make a 4x6, and then I stuck each the 20 and then the 18 in. I probably could have done it on the Project Life app, but I feel like there was a reason. I think I did try it on the Project Life app, but I feel like, oh, I remember what it was. They weren't close enough together, so things were getting cut off. That's what it was. So I ended up having to do it in Word. I don't have Photoshop or Lightroom. I have tried both, and I just cannot get the hang of it. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I use Word, or I use Letterglow, or I use something else on my phone, Project Life app, if I need to. But those work for me. I would absolutely love to figure out how to use one of the other programs. I think it's a learning curve that I just don't really have. I haven't made the time to figure out, I guess. So just adding a little bit more. I love this photo of my family and I. Unfortunately, we were hoping to get photos done in the fall with my husband's family as well, and those just didn't happen, as we ended up going to France at the end of October, and we just couldn't really make anything work in November. So these photos are from my family's 2017, and they were done in February of 2017. Really, you know, Rhett looks a bit older and Emmy looks a bit older, and Rhett has a little less hair, but other than that, you know, we all look pretty much the same. So I decided I was going to use these photos again, and I'm super happy with them. I just moved them all into black and white, and again, I wanting to keep with my black and white neutral base theme. My plan is to have a lot of my photos in black and white for 2018. I had in this last batch that I just had printed, most of them were all done in black and white, and I really love how that looks. So hopefully I can continue that, and I still like it in a few months. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I got my 2018 card done, and I have this one last flower, and I decide that I'm going to put it on Emmy's, and just trying to figure out if that's where I want it placed, and it just sort of worked well with just where her head was to to place that one petal there. And then I was going to leave like this, and then I decided that I still wanted something on Aubrey and Rhett's, just because Emmy and my husband and mine have something on there. So I had to dig a little bit through my stash to figure out what I wanted to put on. I wanted to keep similar colors, so more in that sort of tealy color in blues and greens or gold. That was sort of my idea of what I wanted to do. I end up finding a heart, I believe. I think it's like a old Studio Calico one, and then I also find some little white stars, and I can't remember where those are from, but and then I do decide I want to bring in a couple little word stickers. So I go through what I have and I go with a couple choices. So I've got this one sort of dark tealy one, and then some black and some white ones. So just trying to figure out what exactly I want it to say and where I'm going to place them. This sort of minty colored one is one that I picked up. I can't even remember when I picked it up, but I really love how it's the see-through. So yeah, it has to be on the right background for me to use it, but it's also got the gold in there, so that really worked well with the colors that I have in the watercolors for the flowers. And then just using, again, some black and white ones. I think on the one with the 5 of us in the top right corner, I use a black and white one that I have, and I end up cutting it just because it was a little bit too long to have, and I didn't want it to cut off any of our family members. So I end up just cutting it in a couple places so that it's got more of a layered look on it. And as well, I can't remember what these ones say. I know the one I do choose says "Let the good times roll." I can't remember. I think it was from this set right here, and I have had this in my stash for years. I can't even begin to tell you where I would have got that one from. And I think that's where the video ends, and you can see the finished product right here. I hope you're going to jump on over to Christie's, so Sweet Girl Designs. I will link hers below, and that you really enjoyed watching along with us and this inspiration piece by Jameen. You can feel free to leave a comment below. I always love to hear them, and maybe you want to use this inspiration piece as well and do your own Project Life page or 12 by 12 scrapbook page. If you do, I would love to see it, so please tag me on Instagram at Create Life Paper Words. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll do so. Bye guys!